Hey, what's up guys, I'm Mark Neville, and today I'm talking about can the Minnesota Timberwolves win without Jimmy Butler. Now this is all coming from all the trade rumors for Jimmy Butler's been in, and obviously from the last practice that they did have, well not the last one, but the first practice of the season, we know what Jimmy Butler thinks about this question if they can win without him, as he yelled at his GM that they needed him to win games, and as of right now, yes, I mean, at least for the season being right now, like for the first few games of this season, it has shown that they do need Jimmy Butler to win games, but I'm getting into, say they trade Jimmy Butler away, could they still win games without Jimmy Butler? So without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be looking into to see if they can win without him is going to be with that 15 game period where he did go down with that injury at kind of the end of the year. And I mean, you know, I'm talking about like right when they pretty much were falling out of the playoff stuff. I mean, looking into all of that. So when he did go down with those injuries, they were 38-26. And I mean, they were also ranked third in the West for the playoffs. But in that 15 games stretch that he was out, they went 6-9, dropped out of the playoffs, which forced Jimmy Butler to come back early from injury, and which then it caused them to go on a 3-game winning streak and to clinch the 8th seed of the playoffs. But it took them a 3-game winning streak. Jimmy Butler had to come back early from injury, plus they had to win the last game against the Denver Nuggets to see who clinched the 8th seed. They went from the 3rd seed when Jimmy Butler was in and healthy to him going down for 15 games to going 6-9, having a losing record in those, to dropping all the way out of the playoffs and barely being able to clinch the 8th seed. And you needed Jimmy Butler to come back. It's not even like they were able to clinch the 8th seed by themselves. No, they had to give Jimmy Butler to come back to make them go on a 3-game winning streak in their last 3 games of the season to even be able to make the playoffs. So I mean, obviously the talent gap was a very big thing when Jimmy Butler was gone. But like, you can't. Maybe you're like, well, maybe they weren't used to not playing with Jimmy Butler in that 15-game stretch. Maybe you can't just look at that one sample for everything. But I mean, I'm actually gonna be. That's one of the only samples to look at. So I'm gonna actually be looking at that sample quite a lot in this video, but I mean, maybe alright, maybe like give them the benefit of doubt. Cat and Wiggins were not used to playing without Jimmy Butler that year, and the whole game plan was maybe just messed up. But still, with the roster that they had, and Jeff Teague, Cat, Andrew Wiggins, and Taj Gibson at the starting lineup, they still had 4 of their 5 starters. They should have been able to at least go 500 in that 15-game series and at least be a 7th to 6th seed in the playoffs, which would have been able to give Jimmy Butler even more rest, and they wouldn't have had to play the Houston Rockets in the first round, where they ultimately did end up going down. But now I'm going to get into, can Cat and Wiggins play without him? Like, can they play at a high level without him? And to be determining this, I'm going to be comparing the games where Jimmy Butler was actually playing and then where he was not. So just look, in Karl-Anthony Towns' games before Jimmy Butler got hurt, he was averaging a 5.5 plus minus, 20.3 points per game, and 12.3 rebounds per game. And then Wiggins also was averaging a plus 3.5 plus minus, and was averaging 17.7 points per game with 1.1 steals per game. But in the 15-game stretch where it was only Cat and Wiggins and Jimmy Butler had went down, their plus minus both dropped, as Karl-Anthony Towns was averaging a negative 2.3 plus minus, 25.3 points per game, and 12.3 rebounds per game, and Wiggins was only averaging a negative 2.5 plus minus to go along with 18.5 points per game and 38% from the 3. So I mean, their efficiency went down. They scored more because Jimmy Butler left, but still, even despite that, still a very bad thing. And then when you even look at it even worse, in the 21 games that Jimmy Butler did not play last season, because in all total he was inactive for 21 games, they did not do very good at all, as they went 8-13. But in the games where Butler played, they went 37-22. So obviously, when Butler was on the court, they played a lot better and won way more games. And just ultimately, Wiggins and Cat also played better, and the plus minus for them was better. And that, if you don't know what plus minus means, it pretty much means how many points you're, like, when you're on the court, how many points you're either your team's winning by or losing by when you get subbed out. So I mean, yeah. So plus minus is actually a big thing, because if you have a negative one, that means your team is losing almost every time that you get off the court. So with them averaging in the negatives, obviously their team was losing most of the time. Them two were off the court and were getting subbed out. But I mean, when Jimmy Butler was in, their plus minus was up and in the positives, and their record was much better. So I mean, with those two reasons I just said, from where, like, when he went down last year in that 15 stretch period, I mean, it showed that they dropped out of the playoffs. They weren't able to play at a high level. Their stats dropped statistically. Their advanced stats dropped, and their record was just nowhere near as good as it was when Jimmy Butler was on the court. But then you even look at life before Jimmy Butler. So before they even got Jimmy Butler, the year before they traded for him in the draft, they went 31-51, which means they lost 20 more games than they won, and were ranked 10th in the offensive efficiency and 27th in defensive efficiency as well. And I mean, yes, they had a great group of players to go along with Levine and Dunn. Dunn had a not so good rookie season, but that's because he had a rookie slump year, just wasn't used to it. Levine was still a very nice player, averaging 18 points per game. Cat was even averaging 25 points per game, and Wiggins was also showing that he might be able to become an elite player, averaging 23 points per game. But then, I mean, the year that they had Butler, they added 16 wins to their record, going 47-35, and were ranked 4th in offensive efficiency. Now, yes, their defense was still ranked 27th worst, but they added Jimmy Butler, who is a great player in their starting lineup, to be very good on defense and at least try to help it out a little bit. But I mean, it showed once they finally got a real leader, real veteran leader, Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins struggled. So I mean, I think if you took Jimmy Butler away from that, and plus also they lost Levine, their team is going to be struggling a lot more, and I just do not think they're going to be able to win without Jimmy Butler unless they get some beasts out of the trade. So I do think they're going to start rebuilding, probably start cleaning shop very, very soon, and I would not be surprised at all if they start doing very bad once they trade Jimmy Butler, if they ever do trade Jimmy Butler. But I want to hear all your comments, I mean all your thoughts in the comment section below, since it is the end of the video. Comment below, do you think that Jimmy Butler, can they win without him? Do you think they can't win without him? What do you think he's going to get traded for? Where do you think he's going to get traded to? I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and if you have any video ideas you want to see me make in the future, comment those below as well. And if you did like the video, hit like button and subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. I have to thank y'all for all the support y'all been showing. We are literally almost less than 30 subscribers away from 1K. I cannot thank y'all enough for that. We've been killing it. Y'all have been killing it. I've been grinding out for these videos, and as long as y'all are showing support, I'm going to keep grinding out these videos every single day. I know I missed an upload yesterday. It was because like I didn't want to make an absolute trash video. I had everything ready to make this video, but I mean, if I would have made it, I had a bad headache. I was out of it. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses, but I don't want to make a horrible video for you guys and a half-ass video for you guys if I'm just completely out of it. So that's why I didn't make a video. I'm sorry for missing upload. It's hard for me to go to sleep when I'm not uploading. I know a video is not going to be uploaded the next day. It's very hard for me to go to sleep. But I mean, I just didn't want to make a horrible video for you guys. So please forgive me on that. But I also have to give all praise to God. He's the reason I'm here. He blessed me with this computer. He blessed me with motivation and drive to do this. He blessed me with you guys finding my channel, hitting the subscribe button, and liking these videos enough to really show support and everything. Y'all been a ton. Y'all been helping me a ton. And God in general has been helping me a ton in life. He's showing me that this is what He put me on earth to do, to spread His name through these videos, entertain you guys, and just really do what I love doing, and this is what I love doing, and this is what I want to do when I grow up. So I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. But like I said, thank y'all for all the support I've been showing. Any other ideas you want to see me make in the future, comment those below as well. Hit the like button and subscribe button if you like the point. And then also, hope you have a blessed day, because I have a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. See you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, 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 blah.